So I think about the past constantly. The past that they tell us shaped the present. And then I think about the present now that they tell us is shaping the future, folks. And I think about this augmentation and how if they get away with it, 100 years from now, if they get away with it, folks, children now are already looking forward to being augmented. You know, they're being lulled into this false sense of security that biodigital convergence, human augmentation, and becoming part of this digital system is the way forward. And my worry, common sensely, and I can predict it, folks, is that 100 years from now, children will have no idea what it's like to be like we. Yeah, we'll be classed as the past freaks. They'll have no idea what it's like not to be augmented, and they won't be able to understand, the past and how people lived without being digitally connected to this shitstorm that they've been converged into, the biodigital convergence through augmentation, folks. They won't be able to think outside of that prison that they're in. I talk constantly about thinking outside the box, but they'll be in a prison. They'll have no idea they're in this fucking prison, folks. They'll be controlled, be tracked and traced, and they'll have no concept of what it's like to not be tracked and traced. And they'll probably find it frightening to be told that you can be switched off from this system. They'll then be feared by things from the past coming to haunt them. If that makes any sense, folks, they'll be constantly warned and threatened that they can be switched off from this system, and they won't be able to imagine themselves surviving without that connection. And it's coming, folks. I can see it now in my grandchildren. I can see how, even in older people older than me, folks, 70, 80, 90-year-olds are glued to that fucking device in their hand. And it's just worrying, folks, very worrying. The distraction is complete. Absolutely, folks. And then there's the other part of it where people now just don't give a shit. They're not interested. Well, those that are doing this to us, those who are involved with all the medication and that, they know what they're doing. That'll be the mindset. They won't be able to imagine a life living without being heavy metal rich, without having these particulates in them, these mRNA spike proteins controlling them. They won't feel alive without being connected. Yeah. And they will believe. I mean, we've been educated into this system of evolution that's still only a theory, folks, but they will be told that the next step, because not all the time I say to people, well, if evolution's a thing, how come I'm not transitioning? How come I'm not growing a third leg or wings or something? I'm not half of this, half of that. How come we're not finding that? But then people are telling me now that they believe that the next transition, evolution-wise, will be transhumanism. But that's not fucking natural if you think about it. If you believe that evolution's a natural progression, then we shouldn't have any hand in that progression. And yet, without all this augmentation nonsense and all this radiation in air, ionizing, weaponizing every fucking thing from the food, the water, the medications, the very air we breathe, folks. They couldn't do this. So it's not natural. It's not a natural progression at all. Evolution is just an evil solution. And on that fucking note, I'm going in on cold. I have had the dogs out. There's too much ice. We've had some rain that's now clearing the lawn here. but on the road it's turning to ice, and it's just not walkable. So I'm going back in with the family, got some of the kids up, staying the weekend. Anyway, just have a think, folks, because it's coming. I think always about the people of the future and how it's going to affect them, you know. And I just hope that the notes that we make and send to them through our time capsuling, it's believable to them and makes them stop and think, folks. But the way things are going, you know, I do wonder. You know, there is going to be a time where people will not be able to imagine a time where they weren't connected, where they weren't alive with this stuff. I'm alive naturally. They will be alive electrically, yeah, augmented through their biofield in this biodigital convergence that fears me, not for me. I've had my life, folks, but for those yet to come. Everything I've ever done is for those yet to come. And with that shot, I can see the sheep coming across, so I'll go and get them their treats, and I'll see you on the next video, folks.